Good morning. Thanks for connecting today. Pray that you've had a pretty great week and a great weekend so far.
Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here.
Morning, Sephoria. Thanks for connecting with us this morning.
Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good.
Good morning to all of you guys who are just connecting. Thanks so much for hopping on this morning. I pray again that you guys had a great week. Great weekend so far. Good morning, Anita.
And I'm grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here.
Pastor Linda Lewis, thanks so much for connecting.
Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made
Drika, good morning. Good morning to you too, Axel.
and a new day has appeared.
Lucy, good morning.
I'm grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful.
Have you guys been enjoying your weekend so far?
Yesterday's gone.
Let's drop some in the chat. Let me know.
Has appeared, and I
Just checking in to see how you guys are doing.
that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss money gonna find me here.
Good morning, Miss Hoy.
Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna happen in this year.
Cam, what's happening, my man? Good to have you with us this morning.
Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I'm grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good morning, Tay. I love you so much.
Find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na.
We're going to give it a couple more minutes,
Gonna happen in this year,
another minute or so.
and I
We'll go ahead and get started.
that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared.
So if you don't have your cup of coffee yet, we got about another minute to grab it.
Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, say money gonna find me here.
Hey, listen, if you haven't already hit the like button, go ahead and like the video if you're enjoying these sessions. In addition, if you have not subscribed to the link yet, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, or rather, so that you can get notifications just in case you don't get a text message. But go ahead and do that if you haven't, and we'll stay connected. So we're going to continue this morning. Good morning, Larry. We're going to continue this morning with the teaching that we've been doing the last few weeks. I pray that you guys have been enjoying us just really getting a chance to break down what a lot of these principles mean. Although it is written poetically, there's a lot of principle that is found in this particular piece of poetry. And so, again, I want to reiterate this week that the purpose for us doing this is so that you guys will be of the mind and be mindful of the fact that things have seasons. And there's a season for everything that is supposed to take its place in your life. And then there is a time for every purpose under the heaven, including all of the purposes that you have been sent to this earth to fulfill. There's a time, an appointed time for that purpose to be fulfilled. And so when we understand this in essence, we understand that the seasons will take care of most of, in pretty much all of, our personal needs as humans here on earth, and time itself will afford us the opportunity to feel the purpose for which we have come here and have been given identity here in time. So things have seasons, and every purpose has its time. When we go through these passages of Scripture, all the different times that these purposes are fulfilled, these times are fulfilling a purpose with a deeper principle, and that's what we're identifying. And so as we've gone through the first four, I'm just going to read back through them. It says a time to be born, verse number 2, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. Today, we're going to park at verse number 6. It says, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away. Okay. A time to get and a time to lose. It's very interesting here because this word get and the word use can be confused in a more common explanation or meaning as we use it every day. So when you look at that word in the first part of verse number 6, get, that word get in the Hebrew, it literally means to search out. So it's talking about seeking something out, like more like getting up to go out to get it. Good morning, Miss Mary. So whenever we are talking about a time to get, this is what we are referring to, a time to seek certain things out. And most of the time, when you miss the window of time to seek something, you don't have the grace nor the energy nor attention span. When it comes up on you to search something out or seek something out or go after something, whether it's something personally, professionally, or futuristically, you need to go after it when it comes up on you to go after it and go get it. You need to seek those things out. In doing so, you are able to secure the purpose and also gain the principle of why. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you may have misplaced something around the house, right? And when you misplace something around the house, you start looking, and we employ others. But in the back of your mind, somewhere in the back of your mind, and somehow you know that you set it down and you know where it is. You just cannot remember at the time because you know it's in the house. You don't know, and you walk back over to the counter or somewhere in the kitchen, and you say, I know I came right here, and you know it's there. And whenever you know it's there, and because you know it's there, you will not give up searching for it because you understand how close you are to it. This is where our faith towards God come in at in this principle. When it's saying it's a time to get or a time to seek out or search for, it's based upon what you know beyond the shadows of any doubts, what you know God has placed in your path for life. There comes a time when you have to know exactly what God has placed in your life, exactly what God has for you, exactly who you are to God, exactly how close you are to finding the reason or the thing that you're searching after. And whenever you do this, you have to be able to discipline yourself not to be distracted. It's when I was using the example about searching for something in the house, do you understand how aggravating it is while you're looking for your keys because you're getting ready to leave and someone calls your phone and you pick up the phone and say hello, and they say, hey, what's happening, what you up to? That is so irritating. And you say, listen, I'm looking for my keys. I'm going to call you back. And you're real short with the person on the other end, but they don't understand how vested and how engaged you are in your search for what you know is there, but you just cannot put your hands on it, right? We have to be exactly that intense when it comes for us seeking out what it is that God has placed in our lifespan or lifetime to experience and or find. Are you getting this? And so when you know if you know God has better for you, you should search as intensely as you will search for it, or a set of keys, or a misplaced piece of jewelry, or something like that. If you ladies, y'all been outside and dropped the earring in the grass, and you like, wait a minute. And searches that are more intense, what do? We all say to ourselves, or have said to ourselves at one point or another, Lord, just show me where it is. And we have to be able to do this in our personal journey. You have to be able to know when to keep looking, and you also have to know when to say, Lord, show me where to look, where to seek, where to search. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places. Whether it's for companionship, regardless of what it's for, you have to know when you need to ask God to look, because you may be looking in the wrong place. Especially with those of you who are on your journey for love and finding a relationship. And I don't mean to sound cliche about looking for love in all the wrong places, but sometimes we have preferences that are not necessarily in accordance with what it is that God has placed in time for us to experience. Maybe you're looking for an experience and you don't understand what the full gravity of having this experience can, or how this experience can impact your life. And so you won't find it, and that's because it has not been placed in your life. And you don't want to recreate something or create something to satisfy what it is that you were seeking for, when what you were seeking for was not for you. It's just like whenever you lose your keys in the house and you employ everybody in the house, y'all help me find my keys. No one is going to look for your keys as intensely as you are. No, it's not going to be serious to anyone else. And so when you find when you're seeking for these things that God has not destined for you to experience in life, and you try to employ others to come and be a part of the search and to help you, sir, they're not going to be as engaged as you are. And if you find that person is not going to be as excited as you are once you found them. And you think that you found love, and they just doing something. And so it ends up being somewhat of a waste of your time because you were searching for something that was not destined for you. And this same principle is across the board. It's across the board. It doesn't matter whether it's relationship, whether it's in your professional career. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. But you have to know what is placed there. And when you know what is placed there, what you have there, and you'll know it by your spirit, not by your mind. If you're waiting for a thought to drop into your mind, or you to have a thought that's going to do it, or give you what it is that God is not going to come through thought. It's going to come through the intuition. It's going to come through an inward knowing. It's going to come through something that resonates a lot deeper in your soul than the thoughts of your mind. Your spirit knoweth the way. The Bible says that the Holy Spirit will remind us of everything that God has said to us. And sometimes God will speak things to you, and he will bypass your mind in the process of comprehension, and you'll just know something in your spirit. And you don't understand how you know it. And it's because God has spoken to your spirit. And there are certain seasons and moments in time where the Holy Spirit will remind you, yeah, you're supposed to have better than this. You're supposed to have more than this. There's more for you to experience in your life. Come on, somebody. There's more. God has already destined you to have more. Tap in. Look for it. Search for it. And so you have these desires that comes up. And so when it says in the scripture, when it says a time to get it, that's all it's talking about. Then it goes on to say there's a time to lose. Nobody likes to take an L. So let me help you understand exactly what this lose is, because God is not saying to take a L. What the scripture is saying, what this a writer is poetically expressing, is there's a time to give up of oneself. You have to give up or lose oneself. There's a time that you have to give up. When you come to the point that I'm searching for something that is not destined for me to experience, at some point I've got to give up. Remember, I gave the example of losing an earring in the backyard. And you come to a point where you realize that my eyes, my vision is not sharp enough for me to be able to find this little earring, and all of these hundreds of thousands of blades of grass. I'm just not going to do it. And it's dark out here. I'm not going to do it. That little flashlight on my phone is not going to give me the visibility that I need. So I've just got to let this go. I've got to let go of this search. I've got to walk away from the search. And sometimes if we don't know when to walk away, oh my God, I hope y'all getting this. When you don't know when to walk away, you put yourself in a position to experience more anxiety than is necessary for you to experience. And so you are frustrated, you're aggravated, you feel defeated because you did not know when to walk away and how to give up the search and say what God has for me is for me. And if God means for me to have it, he'll show me where it is. And if he doesn't show me where it is, that means that I was only supposed to experience that for the time that it was in my possession or in my reach. But now that it's gone, I can let it go because God can give me another or better. You get that? He can give me another one or a better one. And whenever you come to that resolve, then you can resume searching. But this time you're searching for better. You're searching for newer. You're searching for another. And when we are able to adapt and apply and engage in this principle in life, it helps you to be able to not be so affected by the things that you had to let go of personally. Physically letting go of things is not as hard as we make it seem sometimes. But personally letting go of things, like, yeah, you can part ways with a car. I don't care how many times a car carried you to work and back home. When it's time to get a new one, you don't mourn your car and say, oh my God, I'm going to miss my car. And you might reflect sometime, be like, hey, look, she got me from point A to point B for a long time. But you don't mourn the car. It's easy for you to let go, especially when you're getting another one or a newer one or a better one. It's not that hard. But personally, it doesn't even matter sometimes if you're getting a newer or a better or another. Sometimes personally it's hard just to let go of certain things and certain people and certain experiences. It's even hard to let go of certain ways that are no longer serving you on your search or in your search to be better and to be stronger and to be wiser. Sometimes personally, it's a challenge to be able to let go. My God. Because physically, the physical letting go of certain things, I'm held accountable because others around me are able to witness it. But when I have to let go of something personally, no one knows how tightly or how firmly I'm holding on to this thing that it's time for me to let go, this person that it's time for me to let go, this relationship that it's time for me to let go of. To lose from myself, rid myself of. This job, is time for me to let go, but I've been here for X amount of years. And I love my job, but it's time for me to let it go. Now, don't nobody wake up and go quit your job in the morning. That's not what I'm telling you to do. If it's confirmation, you need to pray one more time. But when we come to a place that we're able to accept the season and the time for us to let go of certain things, you will realize that your burdens will be lifted. Your load will become lighter. The reason why we carry the spirit of heaviness is because we don't know how to let go of certain things. The reason why people carry like the spirit of rejection for so many years is because they have not let go of certain experiences, and they're holding on to those experiences because they still need resolve when it comes to that. They need an apology. They want an explanation for why they experienced that, what they experienced, the way that they experienced. And sometimes there is no resolve. You just have to let go, because letting go allows you to move on. And sometimes when you're refusing to let go of something that has become a pillar in your life, such as the spirit of rejection, when you're refusing to let go of something that has become a pillar in your life, you're stuck in that one place and you cannot move on. You cannot move forward. And you wonder why you're not covering any ground, and it seems like you're just as far away from the thing that you desired this year as you were 5 years ago. It's because you're holding on to something that is time for you to lose. It's time for you to let go. Just let it go. And so I want to challenge you to begin to adopt this principle in your life and engage in this principle, understanding the time, understanding when it's time to seek and when it's time to let go of. Because when you understand this, you will find that you will not have as many traffic jams in your life as you experience. Some of our lives is like 5 o'clock traffic around the clock. And while being busy has become very popular and very common, it's not always productive. You're not always being productive. If you would let go of certain things that are no longer serving a purpose in your life, no longer elevating anything or anyone else in your life, when you're able to let go of those things and put more energy in the things that you're supposed to be searching for and seeking out and engaging, you'll see that those things will multiply and yield much more fruit than the thing that you're holding on to that it's time to let go. I'll tell you guys a funny story. But I had to take a sip of that coffee because it's good. When I was about 29 years old, I think 29, I used to cut hair. I was a barber. I cut in the shop a long time ago. So keeping a fresh cut was something that I always did because I could cut my own hair. And so one day I was cutting my hair and I realized that the hairline was retrograding or something. My hairline just, it had everything weird. And I had to come to the point that it was time for me to let it go, right? It was time for me to shave all of my hair off. Now, while this is a common story and a funny story to many, the challenge of me actually cutting my hair off from the time I realized it to the time that I did, it was so great and very intense. And the reason why is because I didn't know what I would look like without what I've always had, right? I mean, because people always say, "Oh, your hair is so nice. I love your hair. You got good hair." And so I didn't know how I was gonna look with no hair. And not knowing what it looks like for me prolonged me shaving my head, cutting my hair off actually. Now watch this. This is where the story gets interesting. And after I finally shaved it off and I was like, okay, all right, I'll live. I mean, I'm still funny looking, but I'm okay. I'll live. I'm not gonna hide. I'm not wearing a paper bag. But after doing it for a while, my mind often wandered back to times when I had hair. And so what I did was I grew my hair back a couple of times. And so this is the mistake that we make when it's time to let go of things. We're challenged by what life will look like for us if we actually let this go. Oh my God, man, if y'all not getting this, you wasting your own time this morning. You don't know what it looked like to let it go. And because you don't know what it looked like and the uncertainty of how life will appear after you've let this thing go, you prolong letting it go. And then the second mistake, was the second mistake I made, was after you let it go, we start reminiscing about when we held on to it. And we want to go back and grab a hold to some things that we've already let go of sometime. And I'm talking to somebody up in particular right now. You're tempted to go back and grab a hold of some things that you've already let go of because you want to see what it will be like now. You feel like you've grown, you've matured, you've changed. What if now I go back? Well, understand that if you go back and you grab a hold of something that you were supposed to let go of, you're not getting stuck. You jumping down in a ditch yourself. You're doing it to yourself. It's self-inflicted. So you have to be able to just let it go. And whenever the mind wanders, remember the reason that you let it go at first. When the mind wanders, remember why it was in your best interest to lose it, to let it go, to rid yourself of it in the beginning. What inspired your actions to let go? Remember that whenever the mind starts wandering, because the mind will reminisce and wonder about things that you've let go of. I, when I went back or grew my hair back the last time, I grew my hair back and I let it grow. I put my little gel in it, had a little curly on the top. Actually, it was blonde. I bleached it blonde. I I was looking some years later after I shaved my hair off again. I was looking some years later at a picture. I still have the pics. I was looking at a picture of when I had grown my hair back and had dyed it blonde, and I looked and I said, "What in the world was I thinking? What was I thinking? What was I thinking?" And there are times when you will look back at things that you tried to go back and do from a prior point or a prior time in life, and you will think, what in the world was I thinking? Some of us, we're still trying to go back and do stuff that we were able to do at one time in our life, and it's just not popping like it used to. And you end up feeling embarrassed, personal embarrassment, not public embarrassment, because the public is not looking back at this with you. It was just me looking back at those pictures. I wasn't publicly embarrassed. I was personally embarrassed. It made me personally wonder, what was I thinking? Personally wonder. No, all the saints won't see these pics. Some of the saints on here seen their hair though. But yeah, you're personally affected. You're personally affected by these things. You get me? And now the second part of that passage that we're looking at, verse number 6, it says there's a time to keep and a time to cast away. There's a time to keep and a time to cast away. This is so man, this is like, if you don't get anything else that I've said today, you need to get this part. When it's talking about a time to keep and a time to throw away, you know, we hold on to things. The older you get, I think as we get older, we all have a tendency to become somewhat of hoarders. We begin to hoard things and things because we give meaning to things. I'm talking about material things now. We give meaning to things that just aren't there for other people. We place value on things that differ from the value that someone else will take. And so we hold on to things, you know. You got this little whatever object, little figurine, and you saying, why you still got that sitting up there? No, I got that from this place or that place or this one or that one. And you're holding on to it. The thing that been broken. You don't even dust it no more. It's been folded up or put away or sitting in the closet taking up space or on the shelf taking up space. And you don't want to let it go because you placed a value on it or the value that it carried at the time that you received it. You're unable to reckon with the fact that it doesn't carry this same value anymore. Yeah, but you're holding on to it. You're keeping it. And the same way we do that with physical and material possessions, we do it with ideas, ways of thinking, our personal behavior. You're keeping You're keeping ways. You keep in ways that it's not beneficial to you for you to keep anymore. You still want to be this guy or that girl, and the way that this guy and that girl had to carry themselves, and the mindset that you had in that, it's not serving you for where you are right now, and you don't appear the way you think you do. You think that you're appearing one way, or the way that you did whenever you first received that swagger, or you first tapped into that charisma, or when you used to be able to behave or act or carry yourself that way. It's not it's not appealing anymore. You're not. I'm trying to say it nice. I'm trying to think of nice ways to say it. But it's just like it's just like you have to be real with you. You know how much energy it takes for you to keep up these personas that are no longer serving you or anyone around you. And you feel like it's still valuable or worth something for you to continue. Even certain ideas that we have, especially as believers and Christians, certain ideas that we had, they're no longer. This is the reason why the church is stuck, is because the church cannot let go of certain ideas that we had that were valuable ideas at one time, but they're no longer as valuable as they were. You're having people at church 4 days out of a week, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Bible study. And then you have all the auxiliary meetings, choir rehearsal, all this. People at church 4 days a week. That was a good idea once upon a time. But right now, is that still the best idea? I remember everyone was building life centers at their church. Everybody had a life center. And what this life center was, the church people, if you know, you know. The life center was the big thing. Everybody had a gymnasium. All you did was set up tables and chairs in there and had a banquet. It didn't do anything. It was very costly to be able to do so. And now some years later, it's not a good idea. Why not make some investments on behalf of the church, in the name of the church, that will yield profits for the church, so that you could relieve the people in the church from carrying the financial weight of the church? See? So those were good in that time. But in these times, it's time for us to throw away those ideas. Keeping those ideas is not in the best interest overall. It's just not. It's not in our best interest. So some of the things that we're keeping, we're keeping, and we are not accepting the fact that it's lost its value. You know, they have a principle that says throw away anything that you have not used in the last year. Some people say 2 years. I believe this principle to be true, because you think that you have to have it. You know, you start cleaning out stuff and be like, don't throw away my this or don't throw away my that. And you never touch it, you never see it, and it's just taking up space in your life. And so I'm saying to you, consider what you're keeping. What is it doing for you? What are you trying to keep? What are you holding on to that it's time to throw away? Ideas, some of your ways. What ways are you keeping? You grew up the mean girl, but you 50 now. Come on, man. Why you still want to be the mean girl? You grew up the outspoken one, but at your big age, it don't look the same that it did when you were younger. It was funny, it was humorous, but now it's kind of sad because it's a testament of how much growth you have not had as a woman or as a man. So keeping those ways, keeping those ideas, keeping those mindsets is not as valuable to you, to your life or your future as it once was. And we have to be able to let these things go. You have to be able to throw them away. And that word, when you're talking about throwing away or losing, in the Hebrew, one of the definitions for that word lose is to destroy. You have to discard it in a way that you won't be tempted to go dumpster diving in your past to pull out something that you discarded. And when you discarded it because it was just it was worthless. It was worthless. You've been saving $2. You go in the trade shop with $2 saying, "Hey, listen, I've been saving these $2 for 15 years. My mama gave me these $2, and I want to see what they worth." What do you think they gonna tell you in the coin trade shop? How much you think they gonna tell you those $2 are worth? You know, okay. So what I'm saying is, when it's time to throw things away, throw them away, and pay attention to what it is that you're keeping, because some of the things that you're keeping, it's time to throw away. Don't make the mistake of throwing away something that you need to be keeping either. Because some of y'all get it, y'all change y'all mindset for 2 months, and then two people cross you, and then you say everybody think I'm weak. And so you want to go back and dumpster dive into your past and get your find your confrontational attitude and take that back up on yourself and be confrontational again with everybody. No, don't do that. Just let it go and keep the disposition and the mindset that you've grown into. Yeah, it's going to be tested. Sometimes you're going to feel discouraged and you're going to want to let go of walking in peace with all men to go to war, and it's you against everybody. But you've already lived your life like that, and it's not in your best interest to go back and recover that stuff and take up on those dispositions. You've thrown it away. Let it stay in the trash. Let it stay in the trash. Look, I hope I said something. We're out of time. I hope I've shared some things with you that have really opened your eyes and provoked you to think this morning. Think deeper thoughts. But these principles are really, really priceless here. And so as you continue throughout your week, meditate now that you have another understanding of Ecclesiastes 3, verse 6. Meditate on this week, those in the prior ones that we've gone through. Go and meditate on them throughout the week. Just think about it. Ask God to continue to open up your understanding of these things. And we will be back here on next Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you need me before then, you guys know how to hit me up. Email, DM, inbox, text message, phone call. I will return your calls as soon as I am able to. If not, instantly. But again, thank you for your time. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening or afternoon and evening. And I hope that this upcoming week is the best week that you've had so far this year. And again, if you need me, reach out to me. I will see you guys on next week. I love you all so much. Again, thank you for sharing your time with me. Before you continue your day, please go and make your donation. If you are being blessed by these sessions weekly, please make donations towards what it is that's being a blessing to you, what it is that's enriching you. I want to encourage you guys to give. I told you that I will be doing that more. And so this is my appeal to you to make sure, because there is a principle that works as it relates to sowing and reaping. So I want you guys to make sure that you're going and you're sowing and you're making your donations and you're contributing back to the thing that is being a blessing to you. We want to keep the things in place that God has placed in our midst, and we want to make sure that we show our appreciation and gratitude. So go and make your donations before you continue with the rest of the day. I love you all. I bid you all blessings and Godspeed, and I will see you guys on next week. God bless you. I love you.
And I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared. And I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss say money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna happen in this year. And I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared. And I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss say money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna happen in this year. And I am grateful that I made it here.
Love you all.
Yesterday's
Godspeed.
gone